Well, Joel Selwood will become just the 21st player to play 350 games when he runs out for Geelong against the Western Bulldogs on Saturday night. A three-time premiership player, he's missed just 30 games since making his debut in 2007. Drew Jones spoke to a couple of his old Geelong teammates to find out what's made Joel Selwood such an inspiration for the Cats.
The banner reads, a leader for the ages, unbreakable and courageous, strong, the beating heart of Geelong.
Just so determined. He's just got this ironclad will to always want to win, always want to do his absolute best, but he backs it up with a really uncommon humility for people who are so driven as he is.
He felt safe, just knowing that he was going to do whatever he could. He was, all you wanted is in a teammate is trust, and you just trusted him every time to get it done. And if he couldn't get it done, he would have a crack trying to do so.
The competitiveness, I think, is probably his biggest strength, and I think that's what doesn't surprise me. 350 games is a hell of a lot of games of footy. It's a hell of a lot of training and preparation, but that determination and will is probably what I think is his greatest attribute. And if you've got that in spades like he does, you're able to push yourself to places that a lot of people can't, and I think that has resulted in him getting to 350 games and doing it at a really high level.
Oh, clearly he was one right from the get-go. He was very respectful, but he wanted to push himself but also push the group, and there was a patch there where we weren't playing much good footy, and there was a young fella coming through that was setting the standards, which shouldn't have to happen. So it was highlighted to the rest of the group that there's a young fella in his first 3 or 4 games that's showing you guys the way. So
Joel Selwood joins his 2 brothers already playing, one for West Coast and one for Brisbane.
He's a rare talent, young Joel Selwood. Stepped into the NAB Cup series and looked like he belonged at AFL level. Keep your eye on him.
What a family. Amazing, that record. The 3rd to make it to the AFL.
Hunt crosses midfield, sends it inside 50, at the back Varco, gives it off to Selwood. The future of Geelong is on display tonight.
He took me down to Torquay. I think in my first weekend I was here, went for a drive down there. He already had leadership qualities that I could see very, very early on. He was hell-bent on trying to make sure all of our new players that were welcome to the club, and him himself was only very new as well, felt a connection, felt supported from day one.
Yeah, obviously being fortunate enough to watch him grow, watch him start his journey as a mature young kid, but then also, I think he was captain at a really young age and take on that responsibility. He was ready for any challenge that was thrown at him, but yeah, he's just a tremendous person that cares a lot for his footy club and for his teammates and for those around him, and he thinks about what's needed for them more than what he does for himself, and that's a great quality.
Yeah, I can clearly remember it. We drove down, he had a Nissan X-Trail, I think, at the time. Drove down and we just sort of cruised around Torquay. He gave me a bit of an insight to the town, showed me where the beaches were. We didn't sort of do anything too extravagant, but at least he was just trying to make me feel comfortable, which I was very, very grateful for.
He just demonstrated, particularly on the track, that he was going to leave no stone unturned, and he was going to challenge and make himself the best he could be, but also drag others along. And he just had this way of bringing others up to his level. And from an early point of view, he did that. He set standards, and he made others come along.
The team aspect of what we do is driven a lot by individuals, Joel being a really important individual in that. So what we see on field and what we see sort of a little bit in the media is probably only a very, very small % of what he actually does for our football club.
For someone to put so much work into the game, there's not many easy balls in his game. He fights and he scraps and he wins his own ball, and he gets battered and bruised along the way, but he keeps fronting up. He's obviously the ultimate professional. He gets himself ready and knows what he has to do, but he doesn't really take a backward step at any contest.
Yeah, hell of a man, hell of a person, hell of a teammate. I feel so grateful to have spent a fair bit of my career alongside him, on and off the field. One hell of a person, and very, very grateful to have crossed paths with him.
He's such a tremendous player, but also just a wonderful person, human being. Right from the day he come in, he set really high standards, and he's achieved a lot in the game, and it's a credit to himself.